Coming to you live at 17 hours, 16 minutes, Thursday, May 9th, 2019. All right, I cleared that up. That was my last thing towards women. I'm not going to say for the year because a lot of things that correlate, that align to men has to do with women. A lot of things that correlate and align to women have to do with men. So we can't exit and we can't remove and delete one another unless you don't want one of us to exist. And if one of us don't exist, then what world are we living in? I don't know what world will be here, how many people will be on this earth. Maybe the people that's the hellraisers will still be here because the good people obviously is not getting chosen to be with good people or people that sound-minded. And when men, this is going to go towards my Black Men series. A good man, back to alignment. This topic is defined or to be undefined. And defined. What is defined for a man that's a African descendant, quote unquote, black man in America? We were birthed and told that we were just supposed to do. There was no definition of what to do mean. But our examples were, it didn't come from our mothers and it didn't come from the men. Vice versa, because I keep hearing women saying that they know we never say, now I'm going to say this. Women, I don't use the word real. I say there is no solid men. So if you want to say there is no quote unquote real, I'm going to replace that word and say solid men, black men for black women. I'm going to say there is no solid black women for quote unquote black men, African descended people in America. We choose, mainly the woman receive and she have two parts. The man choose, the woman choose and receive. And you defined what is a man. What is a man? Well, for me as a African descendant, quote unquote, black man in America, a man is when he's able to stand on his two own feet. That right there covers me already. I'm standing on my two own feet. I've been homeless. I understood. I learned. Part of that being a man is understanding, knowledge, learning, and bettering yourself. And how do you make that happen? That is undefined because each man's life is different. So if we pair into the Black Man series, Good Man, Back to Alignment, what is going to align you to being a man? What is your definition that is undefined for you of what is a man? I'm using the word undefined because my definition is not yours. But I know when we come together, we will pretty much have the same outlook and outlines. Some things may vary because those things are undefined. How I approach the woman, you didn't approach the same way. How I choose to make my way of living, you didn't. You might be a police officer. I'm a cop. You a police officer, you may be a fireman. He may be a lawyer. He may be a doctor. He may be a teacher. He may be a nurse. He may be a business operator of whatever kind of business he owns. So that's my way to set up my life. But I cannot define that there's only one way for me to be a man. That's why when we start diversifying what a man is, and we start using terminologies towards each other, that's not for a man to do. That is a woman thing. A man to another man, from a young man, from a baby, to an adult, elder, middle age, adolescence, teen, young man, and then elderly man, always you should be encouraging each other. And some things we can encourage each other by is one point, one topic, one subject could be self. How are you in yourself? Are you okay? And we're going to talk about our mentality to ourselves or to other people, somebody we can trust in, our fathers or grandfathers or male that's the role in your life, who played the male role model in your life, or who's your example, whether he's your role model. And we got to look at that. Some men do things, but that don't exempt his knowledge and education. I may not have cheated on a woman, but there's men that have cheated on a woman. See, as a lot of women, see, women, they do this. That's one thing I found to be very interesting. A woman can cheat, they will still take advice. But I'm not going to take the advice as using my my needs needed to be met. I will never agree with no man nor no woman. In this case, and no man, I will never agree that your needs need to be met. So you need to go outside of your commitment to that woman. So that's part of self. The next one is your son. If you have a son, or at one time you procreated a son, or I'm going to just say son because I'm doing the power of oneness with a man, the man series. And so if you have a son, and at one point you a grandfather, uncle, your nephew, at one point somebody has a son, your cousin, your male cousin. Who is the son? How are you being towards him? How are you encouraging your son? And with that being said, bringing up the uncle, the males in your family, how are you encouraging them to be the man that who they supposed to be? We don't know their path, but we can guide them and challenge them to things that we know they're going to face in the future of their life, or may not. So I always say, if I have a son, he's going to come to me about women. I know my son is going to have a mixture of me and his mother. So with his mother's side, with her lineage and bloodline, he's going to be more popular with the ladies. Already know that for a fact. It always seemed to go that way. But I don't want to stunt my son's growth, any male. So my son, I don't want to stunt none of their growth, what they're going to experience. So I'm not going to define what he should actually be saying to a woman. I'm going to show him how to be a respectable man, which my mother showed me, in the part where I didn't know how to be a man. But it's undefined because my life and the way I live, my characteristics, my good moral values, my affirmations, my reinforcements, my empowerments, my ethics is going to be a little bit different because this is the household that I built. And the change and the best example, which I want to speak on, my best example for me is me. Brother Malcolm and Brother Martin are great examples. I'm not going to get detailed in their personal life because that's not what I'm looking to define and about a man. If I'm going to undefine those parts about them, it's not what a man should do. And being who you are called to be. If you know exactly what you're supposed to be doing in life, I encourage you and I trust in you, my brother. You don't have to move at any else person's speed. It's your speed, it's your time, it's your place, it's your present, your gift, it's your now. Your past is your past. But what you can do now is prepare for your future. You cannot predict the future. I always say this. So, Black Man Series, good man, back to alignment. Align back to who you are. Define to undefine, or what's undefined will not always be what each man has. You might have an attribute you can give to another young man, or some knowledge or some education or information. Pass it on. Don't withhold anything. Because when you withhold information, you stunt the growth of your son. You stop the encouragement of himself and the males in your family. Be your best example and be who you are called to be. So what I say unto all you African descendant, quote unquote, black men, I say unto one, I say unto all, is your path, is your journey, is your choice. Choose wisely. And remember, the things you do for you is for you. Can't no one take that away from you. You don't have to be what the world say, these terminologies, the way women look at you. You can be the man you are and still meet someone that's great if you choose to. You have a great day. Say la.